Welcome back to another episode of Eddie Fiola's Fact or Freestyle.
Where there's no characters, it's only real people.
We sold the show to Eddie Fiola, but we retained creative control.
We're going to find out what happens when people stop being polite and start getting real.
Let's see how far down. I messed up. Sorry.
Oh, I was
Keep
just getting ready
going,
to
keep
say we don't
going.
have to shoot another
Let's
one
see how
because
far
you
down
nailed it.
the rabbit hole. This rabbit hole will go. What is it? I don't remember what the line is.
Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we go this time.
But this time,
Okay,
Let's see how
just do
far
that
down
last one. I can fix
the
it in
rabbit
post.
hole we go this time.
Okay. Boom, I'd end it right there.
Eddie Fiola's factOrFreestyleBMX zine is signed with the Dave Norrie autograph stamp. And it tells the story of when we first learned about the Naked Gumby from Ron. And it tells the story of Dave recruiting Ron to be the keynote at Summit 43. And then Ron said something about his approach to being great. And it had a lot to do with doing stunts like the Naked Gumby. And then it talks about how Dave invented the Back for More in 24 and how Joe was like, hey, everybody needs a good story requires change. And it talks about how we did the intervention and said your new Flatland Assassins logo is going to be the Naked Gumby logo, Naked Gumby silhouette. And then like the massive pressure campaign that I put onto Dave to do it using techniques that I learned from Brian Blyther, and then how we got poor boy Steve to draw up the Naked Gumby. And then how we went out to see Matt and everybody at the Hall of Fame signed it. And then we sent it to Ron. And then Ron sent me video of him reading it. And then this is my obligatory Terradome Sports Science Research Center. And then this is how I do right by Flatland Assassins. And every one of them comes with a $100 bill that is taken from this stack of $100 bills. That is comes from the royalty check that I cashed from selling the show to Eddie Fiola and his business partners for an undisclosed amount of money.
Hey, dude.
Hey, man. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. How's it going?
Really, really good. Having a really fun time. How was your New Year? How's it going with you?
Good. Yeah, I just I rode a bit on the 31st, and just kind of hung out here. Rest of the night took, kind of chilled out a bit, and then yesterday I just kind of did laundry and all the grocery store and all the stuff to kind of get ready for a new week. And I didn't ride yesterday, as I usually try to take Sundays off if I can. So it was kind of a conscious rest day. But gonna try to get back to it today. So
That's awesome. I had breakfast with Scott on Saturday, and I got to tell you, it's so good. I have missed it so much. We haven't had breakfast for like, he thinks we had breakfast sometime mid-pandemic before
wow.
they shut down the Bob Evans over here. But dude, it was so good. And the thing that I forgot about Scott is that he actually is Appalachian. And I as I was talking with him, and his giant beard, which made him seem like, you know, like he was out there like brewing a witch's brew.
He's churning butter. Yeah.
Yes, he was in the band The Hostile Amish. But I remember my dad had a machine shop, and one of the guy, when he left, he like sold the company, went off. He had his whole crew over our house because he wanted to say, look, guys, have been working with you for forever, and you know, now I got to move on. And there was a guy and his son like worked at the shop, and he goes, they were talking about like where they were from. And my father said, you know, my father came over on the boat, and the guy goes, well, I'm part Hill Jack. Now, nowadays, we would say hillbillies. And I was describing to Ray yesterday about the hillbilly mortgage company that I worked with for the schoolhouse. But he goes, it's Hill Jack. And it's like a real thing. It's like a real, like, you know how the Amish are their own sort of thing? Hill Jack is an actual thing.
I had no idea.
I think Scott is part Hill Jack, because the things that we were talking about, like the Hill Jack culture, is amazing. And he's like, you do this thing, and he gave me the word for it, but it was so much fun. And
Wow.
yeah, anyway. Hello, Dave. Hello,
Hey,
Ray.
Dave and Ray, how are you?
Hello, Todd. Hello, Joe.
Hello,
Happy
everybody.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
So we're just gonna do the new show intro.
Where's
Ray?
Fiola?
Ray, your van looks bigger than I remember.
My van.
Yeah, your paper, yeah, your delivery van. It looks very spacious in there.
Oh, this is inside of a house right now, I think.
I know. I was just.
I've never been inside the van doing a talk, have I?
Oh, I don't think so. I was just assuming you were working today, making the donuts.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, Warren went to work. Warren and his wife went to work today and then got turned around because they were both off. They did it.
Oh man.
So I went and had breakfast with them.
Oh, that's awesome though. Good.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Did you
Right,
talk about the Amish riders from York?
No, we didn't do any of that.
Okay.
Hey, where's Eddie Fiola? Shouldn't he be here since it's his show?
Yeah, so I was just, texting him. I hadn't heard back from him. The thing with Eddie, well, at least last time, like I just sent him the intro or the invite, and he didn't confirm or anything. He just showed up, and I was like, there you go.
Oh yeah, that's the way superstars do it.
We can fix this in post.
Fix it in post.
Has Joe ever fixed anything in post? Like
He says
maybe
it all the
one
time,
thing.
Ray. And I don't think it's ever happened. He just-
Does Dave have a hat sponsor now? This is the second time wearing a hat, and I'm
It's so
feeling
funny.
Maybe
I'm not a character no more. I'm not in
Oh,
character.
you're not in
anymore.
character. Does
So now I
Todd
can
know
just-
that we're not?
I can do whatever the hell I want.
Bring
You and
Todd
I
up to
have never
speed.
been in character, and we now don't have to be in character. It's one less thing we have to worry about now.
Well, Todd,
Does
We're-
Todd not hear me? Todd's in.
I hear you. I don't know the character reference, so I'm trying.
For the past since day one, Joe and Dave have been doing a character. But then yesterday, so much nonsense went down. I kind of shook the character out of them.
Yeah, you shook the character out of us.
I am like, I am here to keep it real, I think is what my job is. And we're keeping it so real that I shook the character out of these two nitwits. And now the show's going to be even better because now we're going to be talking. This should be called Factor Freestyle, Real People. Eddie Fiola's Factor Freestyle, something real people. I don't know. So
Yeah,
Todd, what was that line you used?
When people stop being polite and start getting real, the real world.
he should have sold that to MTV and made $41.
Well,
Yep.
we're gonna have Eddie sell his show to MTV.
What's
Right.
his show? The show?
This show,
Nobody would watch this show. It's available.
Eddie has
at
to
the touch
sell
of a
it.
finger and nobody watches it. So I don't think
We have the.
no one. I don't think anyone will buy it.
I'm confident that will we'll have a buyer.
Dave, this is the perfect use for your autograph stamp.
Oh, I know. It's great. You know, I only saw one of those, Joe, and that was Chad DeGroot.
Did you flip
was
through
that?
it and read it?
No.
Did you read the
I took a
pictures
photo
that
with
I sent to you? Because in our group chat, there's like every page the digital version of it.
I think I saw some of it.
You didn't even read it.
We may have to.
I thought you were gonna mail me a copy. I was like, he'll mail me a copy. I thought I don't get a copy.
I
have to
probably
pay the-
should mail you a copy.
I have one. I got one in the mail.
I know.
My
My
wife
wife on
handed
his
it to
Christmas
me.
tree.
My wife handed it to me. Said, "Here's some more. This is probably some of your BMX nonsense." I said, "I think it is."
Hey, look, I got
BMX
my-
nonsense.
He's got a shrimp rock on.
I
I
got
should
my
run up and
shrimp
get my
rock.
shrimp rock.
Yeah.
I can't believe I don't have my shrimp rock. Oh, look at that's a fancy.
That
Whoa.
is
Jeez, Joe.
You know what that is? That's the operator, owner, or owner operator shrimp rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
right.
like the
The
That's the
CEO of
best of
the
the best,
CEO. of
Yeah.
yeah. Here's the nose blow.
I
Pop
had
those
a dream.
vitamin C's. Joe's
I had
falling
a-
apart in his old age, man.
This one got me.
And a puppet
COVID.
no more, huh?
Yeah, that's what he is.
Yes.
A puppet no more.
So when I wear this in this neighborhood, they don't think that it's BMX. They think that
You're a drug dealer.
I'm in a
drug addict.
militia or something.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. You're the oath keeper guy. What is that? Is that a rabbit? What is that?
That is the cutest.
It's a
sweetest
gremlin.
dog.
It's a gremlin.
I have my dog here, but she's sleeping. Here, look,
Yeah.
I'll show you. Sugar's our attack dog. Shuggy Bear.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hi, Sugar.
Yeah, she's my attack dog. She's the greatest dog in the history. She's even better than Leroy, and we love Leroy. Sugar, we can say it. She's better than Leroy. My wife just went, "Oh, don't say that." This is why Sugar's better, because Sugar doesn't really shed. And the
Mhm.
best part, when you open the door to the backyard to have her come in, she comes right in. Leroy would just look
That's
at you
huge.
and give you the FU look, like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
I'm not done yet. Yeah.
A dog that will come in when you want it to come in is you can't buy that. Or you can
Yeah.
just train the dog, but we're very poor dog trainers. Hey there, Richie Peter. Ooh. So anyway, what are we
yeah, so
talking
anyway,
about today?
we
Have
want
we
to
talked
shoot.
about Todd's pompadour yet? It's not as pumped out today. It's not.
Todd's
I like the
perfect
Buster
hair.
Poindexter version, and he's dampened it down a bit.
It's my new character change for 2023.
Ah, this is the real you.
Less-
Wait, but we're not doing
less
character
pumped.
change. We're just dropping characters.
There's
So
no-
it's
yeah.
just you.
Okay, so this is my my new 2023, less Buster Poindexter, more Harry Connick.
More
Jr.
part, less pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Will the real Todd Carter please stand up?
There's a rabbit on his shoulder.
Yeah. Got my squirrel here for the new year.
Got a squirrel.
Okay, so I wrote a script. I just texted it to you guys, but let me go top down through it.
Oh, God.
Dave begins by slapping the table and says,
Yeah.
"Welcome back to another episode of Factor Freestyle."
No,
Ray.
can it be Eddie Fiola's factor?
Oh
It's gotta-
yeah, sorry.
gotta throw in
Eddie
Eddie Fiola.
Fiola's.
That's the funniest, greatest part, that it's Eddie Fiola's factor freestyle.
I already caught that, Ray. I was going to say it anyways.
Oh, I love that part.
Okay, and then Ray, you say whatever you want to say. We're not scripting you.
Oh, I don't get a script.
No,
So wait,
you
so
Oh,
can-
I thought he should say whatever. I thought he was going to say whatever we want to say. Okay.
So wait, how's
Leave
it
it to
gonna
Ray.
start off? What's Dave's script?
I'm just saying, welcome back to another episode of Eddie Fiola's Fact or Freestyle.
and then Ray goes,
and then
You
I
go.
and then I say, "We sold the show to Eddie Fiola, but we retained creative control." And Todd says something brilliant. I didn't script you, Todd, because you don't need to be scripted.
Yeah, I'm the only one that needs to be scripted. It's very clear here. And thank you, Joe.
And then once Todd goes, like I'll put Eddie like in the middle in post.
Oh,
And then Dave, you finish with, let's see how far down the rabbit hole we go this time.
And I have to go this time.
Yeah. So I'm going to give us a 3, 2, 1, and we'll just do I'll count this
Practice.
down. So 3, 2, 1, Dave.
Welcome back to another episode of Eddie Fiola's Fact or Freestyle.
where there's no characters, it's only real people.
We sold the show to Eddie Fiola, but we retained creative control.
We're gonna find out what happens when people stop being polite and start getting real.
Let's see how far down. I messed up. Sorry.
I was
Keep
just getting ready
going,
to
keep
say we don't
going.
have to shoot another
Let's
one
see how
because
far
you
down
nailed it.
the rabbit hole. This rabbit hole will go. What is it? I don't remember what the line is.
Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we go this time.
Oh, this time.
Okay,
Let's see how
just do
far
that
down
last one. I can fix
The
it. in
rabbit
post.
hole we go this
Okay.
time.
Boom, I'd end it right there. I wouldn't even do another one. I would leave it
All right.
just like that because there's
There.
no characters and we're keeping it real.
All
Yeah.
right.
What do you think of
keep
that?
it real.
What do you think? Is that the
I
most
think that's
creative
great.
thing you've
We
ever
got
heard in
it.
your life?
Okay. Yeah, we got it.
That's it.
That's it. It's so great. And Todd did the intro. Let me show you guys the intro. I'm going to share sound.
That could be the big selling point of this show. There's zero editing. Unless somebody's
Yeah. We're
You don't
unedited.
condone murder.
And then we just have to give that disclaimer when someone comes on. Look, whatever you say, it's going up. You can't
Everywhere.
can't edit.
You love this White Rabbit song, though. You probably the
I
first time
do.
you ever heard this was probably in Platoon. I bet you nitwit. I guarantee it. Don't lie to me.
I
Don't
did
lie.
not watch. I didn't watch that one.
You've never seen Platoon.
No.
You're like one of those dudes that's never seen Rambo. Probably. I should hang up. right
No. I've seen the Rambo stuff. My
Have
father
you
was
not, have you
very
seen Rambo and not seen Platoon?
because my father curated my war movie consumption.
Does he not? Like, would he not be down with Platoon? Is it too fake for him?
I don't know,
Joe, are you there?
but Rambo.
Well, there's one way to find out. Let's get him on.
No,
No, you don't know. He's like living in his
No.
bunker eating rations. He's
not
eating
no.
He would have already killed Todd's rabbit and ate it.
No, he's retired with my mother down in Florida in the Villages, which has the highest rate of sexually transmitted infections in the
Oh,
country.
good for them.
And
Oh my
there's massive drug use there. The
Is your
stats
mom
are
gonna-
outrageous.
Is your mom going to drive to Houston or are you flying her?
No, they're not getting close.
No, she has to give you the bike. She has to give you the idea to do the Gumby, I thought.
Could you imagine?
No.
Could you imagine if I went to a Flatland event and I was sitting next to Joe, like sitting in between Joe's parents for like an hour?
Oh, Jesus
The
Christ.
fun we would have.
Look at
Could you
Joe,
imagine?
he's-
Jesus Christ!
He's really
we're-
uncomfortable.
Oh my
Christ,
God.
we are above Jesus Christ in this moment. Tell him, Todd.
Hey, Ray, about, I guess it's 3 years ago now, there was a contest in Florida, and it was just the beginning of the pandemic. And so all of us were kind of traveling in. The contest actually got canceled as soon as we arrived because the city shut down
Oh,
the skate park. But Joe posted on the interwebs that he was in Florida. He and Brian Huffman decided to have a session, and Joe may have forgotten that his mom is actually a Facebook friend, and so
yeah.
she
went and looked for him.
she commented on his post, "Why are you in town and you didn't tell your father or I?"
Oh,
And
oh no.
Joe had to delicately sidestep his parents all weekend until he flew back to Ohio, and he did. He managed to go back to Ohio, but he had forgotten to mention to them that he was going to be into town, which was
So, wait, so your parents were. I'm going to make you real sad right now, Joe. You ready for this? This is
Yes.
going to hurt, okay? But this is
Yes.
real life stuff. So,
Yes.
so what I'm getting here is that your parents were nearby and you were at an event and you were like, I'm going to avoid them and do my thing.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
in fairness, COVID was
I know.
pretty
But
much.
see, so
Yeah,
I'm a
it's-
dude. My parents are both gone, and the opportunity to go visit them would be, it doesn't happen now. So can you imagine if there's like right now your parents were gone and you don't get to see them that last time? See, I mean, you might hate your parents, I don't know, but either way, I'm just saying, like how many, like from now until the time your parents are dead, how many more times are you going to see them?
I
5?
don't know. I don't
3?
know. It's
17? You
definitely,
don't know.
it's definitely, I mean, I FaceTime with
That
them.
doesn't count. That doesn't count.
I FaceTime with them.
No, that doesn't
The
count.
thing about so here's the thing. So my mother did blow up at me. And there was the stuff that you saw on the interwebs that she said publicly. And then there was the stuff that she texted to me.
Okay, I didn't see that.
I put the private text on the interwebs, and she went,
Oh.
She exploded even more. And
I do
was like,
remember
Joe.
something about an ask to remove those
Yeah.
from the internet. Yeah.
yeah, she
Your
was
mom was
not
going to give you
happy.
the cease and desist letter.
My mom sent me a cease and desist letter.
Of the whole internet,
The whole
Yes.
internet. And so this was my response to her. I said, look, I hired Marty Copa, who like won the X Games 3 times in a row, to train me on how to ride contests again.
Oh my God. You need a lot of
And-
coaches, don't you?
And I worked my ass off, like my ass off to
Not
prepare
see
for
your
this
friends when you're in
contest.
Florida.
To prepare for this contest. Like, it is grueling. Okay. I show up having trained harder than I ever had, and the contest gets canceled. And my mother says, why didn't you come and see us? And I was like,
He was 100%
because
right.
I see you all the time, and I am trying to keep my head focused on one thing. And she blew up at me and I was like, you didn't even ask me what I was doing in Florida, did you? No, you didn't. You don't give a shit about what I do.
Wow. See, that's why you need me there, Joe.
So let's
If I
keep
could be
it.
in
So
the
let's
middle of
keep it
that-
real. So
Joe, if
let's
I can get
keep
in
it
the middle of
real.
that, I can fix all that.
You probably could,
I can
but
fix all
I
that.
have
I can
a
tell them what
lot
to
of
really
people
be-
have tried
what-
to do this.
You got to just be worried about the important stuff in life. You know what I mean? Don't worry about nonsense. You know.
Well, anyway, that's the now that we're talking real.
Yeah, we're
that's
talking-
the full story.
I didn't mean to bring up something that was hurtful.
Way to go.
It's
Way to go,
not.
Todd.
Oh, perfect.
you
Todd.
should.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
I
Todd,
brought
keep
it
doing
up
what you're
because it was a Joe
Uncomfortable for Joe
story.
talking about?
What's that?
I said because it was uncomfortable for Joe.
Ray's trying to
about.
guilt you, and that's not what.
No.
No,
I
it-
just want to see if an attacker comes around that corner, if that dog will attack it, because he's got that dog trained to kill. Look at that.
she will.
She
She's
literally
probably
has your
waiting-
back.
She's waiting for the male person to come through, and she wants to let him or her know that she.
We call
is,
it the letter carrier in today's world.
Let it
sorry,
carry.
the letter
What?
carrier.
The letter carrier. Thank you.
Wait, hold on, Ray. What is your today? Like, what year are you living in that you call it a letter carrier?
A letter carrier, like 1989. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
it says it right on their badge. Letter carrier. That's what they're technically called, a letter carrier.
Is that right?
Oh,
There's no mailman or mail woman or transgender bird or something. It's just a letter carrier. It's a human. A letter carrier.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Ray's going to keep us in check.
I'm just
all year
calling it
long.
out. You
I
know,
love it.
I'm just educating the earth is what I'm doing.
I want to go back to the parent scenario because I lost my dad last year and I'm spending more and more time with my mom. And I just have to say, Joe, that I'm with Ray. I'm maybe not as harsh as Ray, but like FaceTime doesn't count. You know, when you're with your parents, you're giving them the time. And my mom, she's a talker and she'll talk your ear off. And sometimes I'll try to get something in and I get it. She's like in her own world. And I just try to come with no agenda. And I spent the last 5 days because I got stuck in San Diego. So she got a good dose. And then she sent me a message and said, oh, JP just told me that there's a contest or a jam happening up in LA. And I'm like, yeah, there is. And I called her and basically she said, well, is it okay if I come up? I said, yeah, I'm not coming to San Diego. I'm flying into, I'm actually flying to John Wayne. And so, you know, it's tricky, Joe, but I think our parents, when they're here, we got to give them the time.
So
Yeah,
I have been doing business deals since I was in high school.
Business deals. Listen, all we want to hear is you go to your parents in Florida and just sing "We Are the World" until they come out of the house,
And
then have dinner with them.
and I have a long history of my mother getting involved in my business
affairs.
Do you really?
business affairs.
Should we just bump this? Should we just bump this up to the next level just for the real fun?
God.
Let's
Oh,
talk about.
God.
Let's. Where's your sister today? Let's get her
No.
involved in this.
Oh my God, no.
That's the best. That's when Joe cringes when you
No.
start talking about the real family stuff,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's just like, "Look, guys, I'm an only child, and talk about it.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
let's talk about
exactly
something
it.
else. I'm sick of picking on Joe. Let's talk about.
Yeah, no,
let's
that's right.
talk
I just wanted
about
to say,
factOrFreestyyle.
yeah,
Let's find out why Eddie's not here today.
Yeah, I'm
Eddie's
texting
probably
him.
at the pump track with Gail Webb.
Oh yeah.
They're probably doing, some promotion.
Can he secretly be dating Gail Webb?
I'll tell maybe
A lot of people that are in business together and that spend, they work together. Sometimes they fall in love.
well, I
It
think
could be a Disney movie.
I think that Gail genuinely cares for all of the
Oh, without doubt.
writers
Yeah.
that she's,
Sure.
worked with over the years, genuinely, like,
Yeah.
like Aunt Gail. I was blown away when Eddie was like, "Hey, I got someone," and they set it all up, and she told the whole story about how somebody's writing a book about, you know, her and her husband and what they did, and it's just absolutely incredible. And I think that now that Eddie owns this show, we have the opportunity to tell the very real, you know, Gail story.
She's
Like that she used to tell kids, she used to tell cops that they were her kids and they weren't even her kids, just so that they wouldn't get in trouble. Remember that story?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much stuff that she did
I've met her
back
on
then.
several occasions, and each time she's incredibly gracious, and she's one of those like magnetic people that you meet and you remember, for sure. I love seeing her reach out to the people who are a part of her you know, stunt team and in performances over the years. Like, for example, Scotty Freeman was, gosh, 12 years old, 13 years old or something like that when he started doing shows with her and her crew. And it's amazing to see. Even, I mean, today they're still close, and she's just the best.
That's real trust.
Huge respect for her. Absolutely.
Mhm. She cared for all those kids. She gave them
Yeah.
advice when they needed advice. She gave them support. She gave them confidence. She gave them real skills, and those skills maintained them throughout their life. And
Right.
that's tremendous. I mean, that's literally a Mr. Miyagi story.
Yeah, for sure.
I had a
it's
master.
a shame. It's a shame that CW couldn't have hired her to be on tour when Diz, Seppi, and Gary went out.
Yeah.
Because Gary had the opposite effect. He had the exact opposite of Gail Webb when he started his BMX career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Gary had a little Gail Webb, he could have been pro.
You could have been pro.
You know, Gary never went pro. Isn't that weird? Like, I always
It's hard
think,
to
like,
imagine.
Gary never. By the time he turned pro, the sport dumped.
It's hard to imagine, because in my mind he was always right up there. So
Yeah.
How did they do it back then? Was it all points?
So, I mean, back then it was just like AFA contest. You would just, yeah, it was just like, but you didn't, even as like an amateur, you didn't like, you just got like the, hey, way to go, you won.
But I heard that you got
an
points.
attaboy. They gave you an attaboy.
Well, let me get this straight. I was informed by someone that in order to go pro in AFA, you had to accumulate a certain amount of points.
You just
in
needed
amateur.
$200. I should have, if it was, put it this way, if it was today, I'd be a pro. I just
Not
$200.
Joe, not when I was riding, it wasn't the case. We didn't have points.
At some point, yeah, I think that's correct. It was like at some point during maybe the middle of the AFA, she's seeing the letter carrier.
The letter carrier. There you go.
But at some point during the AFA, there did become a time where, especially like ramp riders, you would need to accumulate X number of points over the year to be considered. But during the beginning and at the end, that kind of went out the window. So
what's the current with AFA right now?
Well, I'll tell
also
you
the same. It's I would say it's largely based upon would peer I'm trying to think of the right word.
Would dudes talk shit on you if
Yeah.
you did it?
Yeah,
That like it's
Yes.
self-governed,
it is self-governed.
Self-governed, and
which is you have to be more careful than if there were points. Like if you say that you're going to ride pro, like you saw, I mean, that's what like Huffgate was all about. The biggest Flatland controversy ever.
And
The longest Facebook post ever.
And to be honest, it is tough. I mean, once you make that decision to do it, and for example, in the current AFA situation, there usually is not like a master's class kind of a
Right.
option, just because of the number of riders. And because of that, there's a section of, pros who are like super pro and, compete at the super pro level worldwide. And then there's probably a section that were American pros that are kind of trying to figure out exactly where they may fit. And I think that it's a tough decision, but it's difficult to imagine going back, like competing pro and then saying, well, I'm, maybe not doing well or as well as I had hoped. So I'm going to go back down to expert class. That would be a tough one because it's a, self-governed kind of thing. So it's almost like, oh gosh, did I make the wrong choice here? Or, what will the reaction be if I do that? I think it's a tough decision. Yeah, but I'm surprised that Gary never turned pro. And
I don't think he like in his work, like where he was, I don't think it was necessary, because then by the time he got to there was for the AFA, there was like I guess the next class was 19 and over expert, and he was probably just turning 19, so he was just probably just moving up. And I think he entered a street contest as a pro.
okay.
That was probably like the only thing. Like he was right on the verge of turning pro and then just never did. Then he just lost his sponsorship or whatever.
Yeah.
Got shit canned from GT. Back when they were shit canning people. Dave, you know what it's like to be shit canned from a sponsor, probably, right?
I got the letter.
Yeah.
I didn't feel shit canned. I mean, it was just obvious. You saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah,
When we were doing the last tour for Haro, it was obvious that the bike shops weren't selling 5 or 6 completes, each show that we went to, where mountain biking was taken off, less and less BMX shops were, and yeah, we just saw the writing on the wall.
Whew. Joe, what else would you like to talk about today?
Well, that's really all we had. I wanted to get the
it?
intro down. Yeah.
That was it.
There is actually one thing that I wanted to bring up. So
he's doing the
one more
Columbo.
thing.
He's doing the Columbo on us.
So Todd, yesterday we talked about, and you'll see that when you watch the Raw show, but Ray goes, I think Joe and Dave had a Freaky Friday, because
I remember that.
The tables are turned now, and I'm on the hook for the Naked Gumby, the coaster brake version, and the freewheel version. So I'm gonna have to use Gumby Resi. I'm gonna have to order gymnastics mats. Like I have one mat that I could use, but I need another set for out there. And a little, not exactly a Flatland gazebo, but something to like stabilize the.
Yeah, you're gonna need like a little hook in your belt loop to hold you up a little bit.
I'm gonna tie it to the seat post, like not me in suspension, because Dave told the story when he went back. This is so good. He goes, so I went to the VIP area of Circle of Balance. I just walked back there because it's me. And
I didn't say that. I said because I knew
taking
people.
Pictures.
Because I knew people.
Because I know people. And I did a Gumby in front of everyone, but as I was trying to come out, I lost my balance, and so I didn't want a sneaky touch, so I went back in like a Gumby rebate. Gumby rebate is so funny. He goes, but then because I didn't want a sneaky touch, but I just wrecked. I just went right over, and
Oh.
he's like, I was so embarrassed, I crashed, and I was like,
It was a
first off,
Vander roll. It was basically a Vander roll.
it was a Gumby to
Seriously.
Vander roll.
Seriously.
And okay, so that's so funny. But Ray's like, well, now Joe, with you and the Gumby and the naked Gumby, it's like your roles are reversed. I just stepped away because Angie and I talked to the architect about renovating this spot, the new house, the dream house, and we're in their queue until they're not going to be able to start design until April. And so earlier today, I go, why don't we just Airbnb it until then? Who else? Please raise your hand on this call if you have an Airbnb.
So roles are reversed. Is that what you're
Apparently
saying?
Todd and I are the only normal ones here, but anyway.
And so I'm having this like, oh my
Hey
God,
Todd, let's
this
rent out
life
when he
coaching.
Airbnbs his dump. We'll just we'll rent it out and we'll just throw the biggest party,
Crash
the
it. Oh,
greatest
God.
hot air balloons, donkeys, you name it. We'll just do the whole thing.
I like it. I like
We'll
it.
have a party at Joe's house before he does.
And so Angie and I have been going back and forth because she's working today. But you guys know what it's like when I get some shit in my head and it's 3 a.m. and I tell you,
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
it's every 7 minutes. Angie has been texting me every 7 minutes or calling me every 7 minutes, making a list of things we got to do. And most of it is done already. And this idea is like 4 hours old. It's outrageous how fast
You ought to
this is going.
just sell everything and move to King of Prussia. It's wonderful here. You'd love it here.
A lot of
Oh,
letter
so
carriers.
There's so much. You have Atlantic City, hour and a half away. New York City, hour and a half away. The Amish country, 45 minutes away. 3 hours to Boston or New Haven. Get some wonderful pizza.
oh God.
You can wear your
I-
militia shirt anywhere. You fit in anywhere around here. King of Prussia is where you should be.
Joe loves that. That hit one of the selling points is that diner in York. That
Oh,
that Joe
yeah,
loves.
the
His favorite
clock something or the round the
Linworth?
clock diner.
No,
It's
not
a
that
different-
one. Linden.
We had that confusion this year actually with
Oh,
Huffman. Yeah, we
Hu-
were going to meet for breakfast at the diner, and Brian went to the other one.
yeah.
Y'all are at the wrong diner.
Yeah,
I
You
just
don't
put
wanna
like-
go-
the thing where it said diner, and
And we had breakfast with Rodney.
yeah,
Okay.
Kentucky Rodney.
And Rodney told us about his crew. And we laughed so hard at the stories Rodney told us about his crew. And I was like, Rodney, you have to recognize. So first, we're very glad that you're like riding, that you're out, that you like connected with us. We're very happy about that. You are having, because Rodney was like, well, how do I do it? And Dave goes, just have jams in a random parking lot. And Rodney was like, hey, we're going to have a jam. And then he's like, oh, hey, we're going to have another jam. There weren't a lot of people there. And Dave just goes, keep doing that. It'll grow. It'll grow. And now they have a Terradome.
Yeah. And they're doing like every week or something, right?
They have their own Thunder World.
They have their own
they
Thunderworld.
do.
Yeah.
And there's like probably at least 10 riders most weekends, if not more. Yeah.
Yeah. And there is that guy in that crew who featured in Joe Kidd on a Stingray 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh,
That's one of his buddies
really?
who hops when he goes backwards, like Fred Blood.
Oh no, that's a cricket, or right? Yeah.
No, but
there's
just to maintain balance, he hops because he doesn't have the skills.
Oh, that's an Alex Jubiling trick, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alex does that.
Oh my God, Dave, at COB on the watch party,
Yeah.
Powell was going bananas on Alex. Those two bicker so hard.
I couldn't hear anything you guys were saying. All I know is
Oh no. Did you watch the show though? The 4 hours and
no, I did not watch
4 hours and 30 minutes and 51 seconds with Scott Powell. There's a 43 in the time. I swear to God.
I
And
can
it's
believe
authentic.
you.
I didn't clip it to that. But
Todd-
4 hours of
Todd's
Scott
dog
Powell.
is attacking the letter carrier, so he's on mute. His dog is ripping the arms and legs off the letter carrier, ripping its eyes and nose and ears off.
So anyway, guys, yeah, so that's all I had.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this, and
I don't know, but
know
it's
that-
part of Alex's style. I don't diss him for that. Like
I don't
he's
either.
so consistent.
I don't.
I mean,
Joe, are you trying to end this call right now? Are you trying to end this the way you're saying you have nothing?
Somewhat.
We could talk for 4 days about nothing, and you got something to do. You can.
I
You
know.
got that
I
look.
do.
You need to
I-
pop
I
a
do.
gummy and then go do some more shit.
You need to put
So-
some new curtains up and get your, you know,
Yeah.
all your
There's
utensils
nothing-
in place.
There's nothing
So-
worse than when Joe's got something to do other than this nonsense.
I am
When
4
Joe has
hours
Joe's
into
system
being a
on-
real estate investor like Dave.
So it's super fun. You'll love it. You and Angie will have a great time. We'll hear all about it. You'll have all the different troubles that you have to.
But it's
Deal
not
with-
for a long. It's not for a long term. It's just
So-
until we can get the stuff.
Yeah. Till April, you're
So
saying.
it's not sit. Yeah, so it's not sitting idle.
Now,
Makes
Joe,
sense.
when you do begin the construction, are there plans for a new Thunderdome?
No, I'll tell you, I can answer that question for you. No,
there's
they're gonna add stuff to that house they don't need and they can't use, but they're just gonna get it because it looks cool. And Thunderworld's gonna have to just be down the road, and Joe may have to quit riding Flatland after this purchase. Yeah,
No.
look, man, I'm just telling
Really?
you, Joe. I'm just telling you like it is, dude. Joe, your retirement's right around the corner because there's going to be things that are more important than front wheel balance stuff in circles, dude. You wait and see. Yep. Oh yeah,
It's
you're
the
shaking your
it's
head
the
now.
only me doing this Flatland stuff, and Angie knows this. Me doing this Flatland stuff is the only reason why I'm good at other stuff. When I
What are
have
you
not
good
been
at?
riding,
Be good at.
the 8 years that I did not ride were the most tortured, sad, total depression, worst years of my life, most challenging years of my life. I mean, I did the shrimp rocks, but I couldn't take I did the shrimp rocks. Like when I moved to Miami, I sold my bike, and then I was down in Miami for about 9 months, and so I was still coming off of that, and I produced a ton of shrimp rocks. But after that, I had to spend like 7 years doing nothing but figuring out how to build a career, which meant educating myself. And I met all sorts of people. Like I had a boss who took me to strip clubs. Do you know how bad that is to do? But I had a boss and it felt like conduct expected. So I had to learn how to do strip clubs right.
For your boss.
It was all, yeah, there were all sorts of those derailers along
Couldn't
the
you
way.
just say
And
like, "Hey, I'm
finally-
busy"? Couldn't
I
you just
didn't-
bought your bike back and went and rode somewhere?
It never
So you
occurred
didn't,
to me.
you
I
didn't have
thought it
any,
was
you didn't have any real. Who were your friends when you were in this?
no one.
See,
no one.
you got to have friends. That's why I value all my friends.
Right.
Friends are very important
Yeah.
because friends are all different. You have those. They can all. It's like like having a lot of friends is like the Forrest Gump, a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. So if you're in a certain situation, like, for me, I can ask Warren, oh my God, I'll talk to him about something. But then I might have another friend that's better at something else when it comes to life situations. So all you
It's
need,
rough.
Joe, is a couple friends, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, that's all I needed.
I
And
know, yeah.
I didn't have, I mean, I didn't have proper constructive friends. I had some, I had some friends, but they didn't have good habits, and they were, I was surrounded by so much bad advice.
You're also extremely
bad
weird.
advice.
You know what I mean? Like when I first met you, I
Oh yeah.
blocked your number. Like that's how
Right.
weird you were.
Right.
You know?
Right. So I got to deal with that too.
Yeah.
Like I have to find a way.
Like
to
I
be,
didn't know. I was just like, this guy, like your approach is just so odd that I was just like, I think Joe's a crazy person. And you are a crazy person, but you're a very entertaining, useful crazy person. And
Yep, I had to figure that out.
you're the best kind of crazy person because you're not out to hurt anybody. You know what I mean? You just, a
Yep.
lot of the stuff you do doesn't make sense to a normal person.
Yep. And that's the way it works. So that's why I don't lie. That's why I don't steal. That's why I don't try to con anyone. I know all about like con men, and I've studied con men only for self-defense. But I don't I'm always aware of whether I actually want to hurt someone, and I make the choice to not ever want to hurt someone. Like,
Oh my God.
and you have to
Violent.
realize, Ray, like if you walk around, well, I would evaluate my friends. Well, now I do, but I didn't know this test before, which was, is this person actually mean-spirited? In other words, does this person actually want to make someone feel hurt? And if the answer is yes, I'm out.
Yeah. Well,
And-
see, like the one thing I find like that's really interesting, and it's the thing I love about just like the world is like the trip we were just on in Oklahoma. Okay. Like you and I can be sitting somewhere, and like when the dude came up and said scratch cock PA, out of the 10 people that heard that, the only people that really grasped that were me, you, and Brett Downs, because we know. Everyone else, like Gary and like Ron that was with us and Warren, they would have heard scratch cock, and it would have went right through with all the other words and phrases that guy said. But we heard, you guys got to do something down there. And where you from? Scratch cock PA. And we're gonna use that term the rest of our lives.
We're going to use
When
that
Eddie
term for the
came
rest
up
of
and
our
sold
lives.
us Factor Freestyle, the idea, anyone else just kind of looked, you and I looked at each other, and I just remember Eddie came up with an idea to talk about freestyle and videotape it and make a show about it. And before he could even turn around, you looked at me, and as I was getting ready to say, Eddie wants to sell us Factor Freestyle, you were saying Eddie just sold us Factor Freestyle. Like not sold, but came up with it.
You just, presented.
So nobody else.
I think I said,
Nobody else even thought of it. And Joe and I looked at each other. We were like two magnets going to each other because we both had the same thought. So that's the part that's weird. Joe and I are extremely different in every way. Like Joe and I can't be more opposite other than whatever that is. There's a name for it. I don't know what it is, but Joe and I have the same something of nonsense, and I don't know what it is.
Synergy.
Energy, I guess.
No,
I don't know.
he said synergy.
Oh, synergy. Yeah, I don't know. But like a situation can happen, and Joe and I will both pick the exact thing out of it. You know what I mean? Like, you know how twins can be like, like when twins finish each other's sentences, or they both feel something, whatever.
Ray and I are in a state of quantum
we're in like a
entanglement.
weird twin state, but we're extremely different. Like extremely different.
So what is it when Freaky Friday, when instead of going like this, it goes like this? That's the thing. We didn't switch.
Man,
We actually clicked and engaged. We're in phase.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, God. Oh my God.
Really weird.
What is this happening? Well, hey, at least we're getting it recorded.
Like nobody, when Eddie came out with that eclair out of the truck, 100 people would have watched that and not said anything about it. And all Joe and I at separate parts of the earth, we could do nothing but focus on that eclair.
Did you see that, Todd? Did you see that?
Like when he came out of his truck and was talking, all I saw was the eclair.
And you
And
had
I-
no idea what he said.
No idea what he was talking. I knew he got out of a car, and I just saw this puffy, sugared up eclair that was just a prop.
Yeah.
You know? Oh,
And so who told us? Someone DM'd us or said, look, it's a maple log. Okay. Stop calling it an eclair. And I go, what are you talking about? They go, no, it's a big deal in that part of San Diego. It's a maple log. Don't call it an eclair.
a
It's
maple
very
log.
obviously not an eclair. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you, Mr. Copywriter, because Eddie and his maple log is so funny. Eddie and the eclair. Now, let me go a little bit farther here because I don't know, Dave and Todd, if we have shared this with you, but I began writing another zine about the eclair is Eddie's frog bars.
I do like the name Eddie and his eclair, and now you're calling it eclair. But I think that, can't you just, how about this? Write a children's book about Eddie and his eclair.
Yeah,
An
that's what
actual
I'm.
I want to see you
Stay
on
there.
Good Morning America and be
Stay
like,
there.
here's Eddie and his eclair. And there's a little boy from California who had an eclair, and he walked around with his eclair, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, how hard can it be to write a children's book? You know?
I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been an Eddie and his eclair Instagram account that's popped up. I'm really surprised that, I mean, that Joe hasn't added that yet.
But like,
I've got a lot of,
eclair.
I'm landing a lot of planes right now, but yeah, that's, the Instagram is ready to go. So if you can read this, this is how it started with Ron. So let me, should I read it to you?
No, that's okay.
Okay. But I have a children's book of Eddie and the eclair, and it's going to be about
the other thing about the eclair. When he got out of that vehicle, the sweatshirt he was wearing was like 9 sizes too big, cut off at the elbow, unless he was on set.
So
somewhere.
Todd, it was,
he looked like a homeless guy.
It was this wide around. It looked
like
he
sweatpants. It was like he was wearing sweatpants as a shirt.
It looked like he was raised by giants in the forest, okay? And then they had to clothe him, and he used their clothes but cut them down.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. And it was a drawstring sweatpants. And I was going out of my mind.
They lived
so
off
funny.
of donuts.
They lived off of eclairs.
They lived off of maple logs.
Maple logs.
Oh,
They're the ones. You know how
can we order
taffy
a dozen maple logs? Joe, we have to find out Eddie's schedule and just order maple logs to him everywhere he goes.
We could get the maple log company to sponsor this show, and
we could get them. We could get them to decorate it like a cupcake and write EF on it. An EF maple log.
Oh my God, I have to go, but this is so funny.
Where are you going? What do you got to do?
I gotta go do.
What do you have to do? You got to find out. You got to find out which $100,000 wing you're going to put on this house you're not going to use. Listen, get a tennis court built in the backyard so you can ride, and then let Angie have the other house as her yoga studio, and you'll be set. Okay, I just solved all your problems. Tennis court, yoga studio, and that's it.
There is a spot in the back. I was like, oh my God, you could put
tennis court.
You could have a mini spine contest there.
A little pole barn with some heat. You could just get heated concrete with your kind of money. You get heated concrete.
Those things break down. You don't want heated floors. You got to
Nothing
do it
lasts
old
forever.
school.
Don't worry about it.
Oh my God. I love you guys so much. I can't even tell you.
It's just that we're done now. I waited all day for this. I can go about my day.
Yeah, now we're done. I mean, we got.
I'll
what
tell
we need to
Sugar it's
get.
over. Sugar, it's all over, buddy.
Hey, wait a second. If I sign off but leave it go, you guys can talk about me. This is what we wanted to do.
Joe loves this part, but he loves.
Is that the saddest little dog you've ever seen?
He looks very warm.
If we played like the Sarah McLachlan song, people would send us money right now. Look how she's got her little face
Absolutely.
buried.
Yeah.
And the bottom of the wreckage, we got a crippled dog who's gonna drown in a bucket. We're gonna kill you in your sleep and all your friends. Oh, look how sad she is.
Oh, she's like, Dad,
He's
you're
like,
not
he's
gonna
messing.
do any of that. All right, so I do have to go because I got apparently now, like Dave, I am a real estate investor.
Dave said very little because I don't know. Dave must have taken it.
Oh,
Well,
let me
this is
put
the real
the
Dave.
phone. Let me put the phone. Let me do the same thing. I'm gonna call back in, and then we're gonna go on a ride.
Oh, we're gonna go on a Jeep ride again.
We're gonna go on a Jeep ride.
Jeep ride.
Okay.
These only last like 3 minutes, so I'm ready. Go ahead.
I'm gonna leave the meeting, and Ray, you're in charge.
Thank you. All right, what's going on? Todd's on mute again. He must have gas.
Yeah, no, it's a dog.
My dog is she sees another dog walking by, and
Yeah.
she's trying to communicate with him or her that she's here.
Communicate.
She absolutely loves other dogs, so she really wants them to basically stop by and see her
And say hi. Yeah.
She wants friends. I mean, we already talked about that.
She does.
The
Is this
value of
dog-
good friends.
This dog's still a puppy and doesn't want to do anything. Look how sad she is again. Poor little doggy. It's almost time for a 2:00 beating. We beat her every day at 2:00. You just beat her up. You just get a stick with some nails in it. We just hit her. That's right.
I don't believe that.
Dave, do you have any pets? This is going to be
Yes.
good.
I have
Let's
2
hear it.
dogs.
2 dogs. Look at you.
2 dogs and a cat that kind of, when we moved the school, the cat came over, but then the dogs, we had a separate part of the house for that cat in the laundry room. And then I think the dog spooked the cat. So now the cat lives with our neighbors next door.
The cat lived in the, uh-oh, what happened here?
We have like a rental, we have a renter right next door that we basically took the cat, and that's where the cat lives now. But so we have
You have
2
a lot-
dogs and a cat.
You have properties and renters and all that. Like, Todd, are you more normal like me? You just have like one house and just that's it. You just like live like a normal American.
One house. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a son who is in school right now, so I'm everything I can do to do one house.
Oh wow, that's expensive.
Yeah.
You know, probably one of those expensive colleges. He doesn't have a pompadour, does he?
He does not. He has a really long hair, actually.
Oh, he's got rock star hair. There you go.
rock star hair. Yeah.
Dave had rock star hair back in the day, like '84. Remember?
You know,
Yeah.
when I first saw Dave, it was kind of long, not like.
No, he used to have like
Metallica long.
behind the ear, like push it behind the ear, like Farrah Fawcett hair back
Yeah.
in the day.
Well,
Yeah.
and I had really long hair, like right before I got on Haro, but then
Yeah.
I cleaned up my act.
Wow. I don't picture Todd ever having hair past his ears. I picture him just being Mr. Clean Cut like all the time.
Yeah, I had I mean, it was longer in the back, like in the 80s, but
Yeah.
um,
You can say mullet on this. You can say
it was
mullet.
a mullet for sure. Yeah, for sure, no question. Yeah, I might be able to find a
I
photo.
love finding random pictures of Joe with hair. I have one that I send him every once in a while. I stole a photo from Angie's Facebook of Joe with hair,
Mm-hmm.
and I added a smile like with these teeth, and then I send that to him just randomly. But he doesn't comment on him. Not commenting on it makes me know that he saw it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that there's something, yeah, that he's
When he
uncomfortable.
doesn't comment, you know, he's just like,
Yeah, it's eating.
He's very busy today, though. Like he's like running around. We're gonna Airbnb. What would you have to get built on a house when you just have two people living there? What do they need? You have a toilet. You got a kitchen. What else do you need?
Well, is this the construction that he's talking about? Is this for the new house that they've yet to move into, or
Yeah, their dream house. Their dream house.
Their
Okay,
dream
okay.
house.
Okay, so this is
So-
the one that's been recently purchased.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So they got to add something onto it because it apparently doesn't have something. Like what could you add to the house? Like another room that does something, right?
He needs
Like
Thunderbolt.
a Thunderworld area, but he's not going to have Thunderworld. He's going to just keep the little school place.
Depending on the condition of the house. I mean, when we bought this house, it was a complete wreck. So I don't know what the house is like. Is it a fixer upper or is it?
I don't think it is. I don't think the house is a fixer upper. I think he needs to add something to make it their dream home.
Yeah.
I want to know I'm curious on we'll have to ask him if he may have fallen in the driveway and he's not. We should go check
And
on
he
him.
can't get up. Yeah.
He can't get up. That happens out there.
Maybe we need to call someone.
We should do a wellness check.
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there beside the propane tank.
He could have hit his head on the propane tank on the way down.
Yeah.
And fallen in the jacuzzi. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
Drowned. He could have drowned in the jacuzzi. Oh man. Yeah, let's come up with all the scenarios that could have happened right now. Why Joe isn't on? He was very, very energetic when he just left.
He also could be on the phone. It's possible that he's in the middle of a phone call.
Yeah, he was on. He organized us to do this, and now he's left.
And he said it was 10 minutes, and we're
10
in
minutes.
an hour.
Been an hour, and now he's gone. Todd's getting a little antsy. You can see he's getting a little antsy. Todd's gonna hit us with the hey, I gotta go.
I'm gonna do a soundtrack.
A soundtrack. There it is, man.
Yeah.
That's my doggy.
There's Joe.
Joe, we have a question. I have a question. On this dream house, what does the dream house currently not have that you need to get a architect and a builder to add on to this house? In one sentence, what do you need to get built onto your new house that you don't live in yet? Hit it.
It's not that we have to add something, we have to take something away.
Ooh, can we guess what it is?
Can you tell us what that is?
No, we have to guess. We have to guess. Is it a
The torture room? The room where everybody died.
is it the second
grow
floor?
room.
Well,
You can't go up the second floor because you'll be too old to go up the steps.
The grow room.
Oh, that's a good.
The grow room. You have to get rid of a grow room. Is that it?
all right. Is this all of your
Yeah. You have to
Oh,
remove.
there's a handicap floor. There's a handicap floor with the high toilet and the bars on the bathroom.
No, it was the counters are built really tall because the basketball player.
It's Shaquille O'Neal's house, and everything's too tall.
Everything's too tall. You have to
The sinks are too high.
LeBron James lived there.
Yeah. Like you have to get a step stool to use the sink.
Yeah.
all right,
No,
hold on.
none of that. Let's see. What else does he have to remove?
Man, he removed his hat and put his glasses on, and he looks like Steve Jobs again.
And he
there
just-
it is. Uh-oh.
All right,
Okay.
sorry, it was just disconnecting from my Wi-Fi.
Yes. So what else? You have to remove a garage that's falling apart.
Nope, we got to take walls out.
Why do you have to take walls out? Are you doing
Because
debutante?
because the guy had 2 daughters and he made way too many rooms. And it's
So you
all
want to
these
have
weird,
one big room?
it's all these weird corridors, and we're just like, these walls have to be removed.
If
Ray
you throw
can-
a party at your house, we could probably come over and just knock these walls
I
out
was gonna
for
say
you.
Ray can do that.
Yeah, exactly. But it makes for a
I
good
think the 3 of us
Airbnb.
should just start knocking stuff
The
out.
more rooms, the better for Airbnb. So
No,
that's
we have a different concept for this one. We have different concept for this one. Well, here's the thing, Dave. While it's an Airbnb, it will have a bunch of rooms.
that's my point. That's my point. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely going to
so-
rent this out. I'm renting this out. I'm going to order 750 maple eclairs, maple logs, and I'm going to throw a
And-
party.
And 43 cases of Lowenbrow.
I'm
It'll
gonna
be
ha-
a
I'm gonna run
Eclair
it.
orgy house.
I'm
and
going to
some
have
wine
an
coolers.
eating contest with eclairs, and I'm going to rent out Joe's pad to set up cameras, tables, and we're
An
going to have an
eclair
eclair
eating
eating
contest?
contest.
Now, Joe, I do remember that the backyard is one that's pretty spectacular, or at least the backside of the house. Is that a future spot in the making, or is that kind of the relaxation area and the spot?
He's
will
going to
be somewhere
meditate
else?
there.
Yeah.
That's where he's going to
So-
meditate
And retire there. And
and
retire, right?
retire there.
Yeah, there is there is a hill, and I did look at that hill and imagine a Morton building built into the hill, such
boy.
that it doesn't
Sure. it's-
take away from the scenery, because there is a creek back there, and so you don't want to have this big gnarly barn. But if the gnarly barn were, like, say, embedded into a hill or kind of underground, then I could have an actual literal bat cave.
and that helps
Oh.
with temperature control too.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it helps with
Does.
temperature control. And
Which is my biggest problem right now.
You should move to
I have
Florida.
no temperature control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Move to the
Yeah.
old age home where your parents are with VD, and you can kick it there.
No, I'm going to be. I am my own temperature control. I condition myself to ride in, like,
Then
lowest
why do
I
you got to do
got
the hot
was
tub?
23 degrees.
So what's the hot tub for?
To get hot before I go out into 23 degrees.
So you just said you're your own temperature thing, but the hot tub's doing it for you. Don't lie to us. on this.
well,
You just told us you
Joe,
didn't lie about
hold on a
stuff.
second.
Joe, I'm so sorry.
Hold
I
on a
used to
second.
be
I
on the
don't.
hot
I
seat,
can't
and now I
control. I
feel you.
can't control. Okay, so I can't control the temperature in my riding environment, so I have to control how I deal with that. And part of what I do there is I make myself hot. Like I stretch and warm up and I do a conditioning
Inside the hot
thing.
tub? Why don't you just get a
No,
sauna?
before the hot tub.
Why don't you just get a
This
sauna?
house
so you-
has a sauna. This new house has a sauna.
Oh,
Look at
excellent,
that.
Excellent.
You're
Wow.
living. You might be living more large than Dave Norrie right now. Dave just got a fern plant. You have a sauna.
Angie does not like the sauna.
Ray, I have a sauna. Sorry to say.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second, Todd. Do you have a sauna?
I do not.
Todd and I are being very we're the normal people. Who would have thought Todd and I were the normal ones on this call? But we are. You know, saunas and
I'm glad that,
Airbnb and
I'm glad Joe has a sauna, and I'm glad Dave has a sauna, because that would be super helpful to raise the body temperature, to do a Rocky style training, Rocky 4 in the
True.
snow. Would be great.
Well, here's the thing about the sauna, and I think hot bathtubs are better, and so
Me too.
you like anyone with a bathtub can do that, or you could do it like with a hot shower. But there's lots of ways to get your body warmed up, and I think a sauna is a little bit over the top, and we're probably
It's not efficient. It's not efficient. You have to heat it up. It takes an hour. It's a lot of planning. A hot tub you just get into. Like we have a huge hot tub, one of those ones that has the swimming jet so you can swim against it. Yeah, I have a mega hot tub. I have like a hot tub that you can literally swim in.
My God.
What?
Yeah, Dave's got it going on.
I'll,
Dave is definitely the boy
you
that
guys want to
cried
see
wolf.
that? I can show you. I can go down there and show you if you want to see it.
Dave's like talking about like, I don't have any money for food, but then he's flying places and buying places.
It was the act. It was his character.
Yeah. Oh, it was the character.
Ray, you just now figured that out. I would say though, for both you guys, if you have equity in your house, you should tap into the equity and you should invest it. Real estate is a really good way of investing.
That's too much
It's
work.
equity that's just sitting there. What are you doing? It's not doing anything for you.
I got bigger. Whoa! Here comes the text on. I got bigger things to worry about than equity. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Dave, I'm imagining that Dave has like a sketch of how all of his properties are double, triple levered.
Oh, wait a minute. Is Dave, are you one of those dudes that like every day you wake up and see what like your net worth is and how much you made yesterday and how much you're going to make tomorrow? And if we had recently sold everything, how much would it be? You're one of those dudes. I know it.
Not quite that. No, I'm not that street.
You totally are.
But I am working towards, well, I want an indoor riding spot. So I need to get that.
Oh.
I need to have that. I have to have that, Ray.
It changes everything.
I've never had it. And I have it. I have a plan and it's going to cost about 10 grand to do it.
Dave, Fred may help with that, especially if you could figure out a way to open it up for, potential
adult gifts, like kind of like instead of a Tupperware party, they'd have an adult gift thing where Dave would be like,
no,
I got
more like
more
like a jam
make
spot.
a big window. Dave, make the designs with a big east and west facing window, and then do naked Gumby butt sunning yoga classes there.
Well,
if you could teach yoga people how to do a Gumby, and then they can do a naked Gumby, like butt sunning, and I'm not even kidding, because you live in Oregon and you know that you can damn well make that. And like with Fred's endorsement, Fred can probably get you some, I would say, actors to perhaps, shoot the intro video for you. And then you can have a naked Gumby butt sunning
Joe,
yoga studio.
love the enthusiasm, but that's not what's happening. What's happening is it's going to be an indoor spot, and I'm going to have jams, not big jams, because I have to be somewhat aware of the neighbors. Because my stepson, that's the property that he had parties and they shut him down. He did everything.
Yeah, you don't want Josh White coming over saying it's too loud.
He did everything completely by the book. He got the OLCC to come out. He did everything, got the liquor license. And then there's some other thing that you have to do with the county and say, we're going to have an event that's more than 10 people, right? And the county, you have to pay for it, but they don't even approve. They don't even tell you if they're going to approve it or not. And then you still have to pay the $700 just to get the license.
Got it. You live in a Marxist controlled part of the United States. I forgot.
Yeah. I think that it's pretty, it's a shame. So I'm gonna have classes there, but it's be on the kind of the low side, on the download, as they say.
That's wonderful. So that's what you're building. That's so cool. When's that going to get built?
My goal is to have it by end of February.
Awesome. Are you going to build it yourself?
It's already built. I just have to have it paved.
Oh. Right. That's so cool.
What's the size, Dave? That sounds awesome.
All right, before we go on to this next section, it's important to note that Joe completely
misheard Dave's dimensions. Dave said 50 feet. Joe heard 15 feet. And then he argued incessantly because he thought that Dave was going to make a riding spot that was 15 feet long, and that Dave believed that Dane Beardsley could ride it. Please enjoy Joe being completely wrong.
27 by 50.
That's great.
That's
great.
definitely a gum. I mean, Todd, what are the dimensions of your garage?
23.5 by 18.5.
Wow.
So Todd has like, Todd's style is like Japanese style. And Todd, how long did it take you to get acclimated to your garage?
I would say easily a year, if not more, to adapt to being able to do most tricks in it.
And you can do forward death trucks in that spot.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't do there are several things that I can't do, but yeah, those are tricks that I can do in there. Yeah. I wish I had just even 5 more feet, but making work with what you got. So.
Yeah, so Dave, your spot, so the people you're going to have in your jam spot will only do Gumbies.
No, not necessarily. I mean, mostly.
Unless they're Japanese. And they're
Mostly I'll be
spinners.
teaching. Mostly I'll be teaching there and then doing edits because I'm trying to just do a lot of filming with the how-to stuff.
What I'm saying is Dane Beardsley cannot ride your spot.
Oh, he could for sure.
Bullshit.
What do you mean? Why not?
Wait. Okay, so
50 feet? That's plenty of.
I had Guru Jam, and it was a big warehouse, okay? And I roped off and I said, hey, 40 by 40. I was making a big deal, like I was sharing the dimensions, and Dane DMs me and goes, hey, do you only want spinners there or what? And he showed up and I said, or he goes, because Scott, Scott Nagy knows Dane, and I showed it to Scott, and he's like, yeah, we gotta push the dimensions out. And so we re-dimensioned Guru Jam for Dane Beardsley. And in fact, there was a closet there, or like a structure, and I had that torn out to make more space for Dane. If you can believe that I did construction on a spot to add more space for Dane Beardsley, I did. And then he showed up. But we pushed Dave. We Todd, you remember this from like when you got there, the barriers were pushed as far back as possible. There was like 1 or 2 rows of people seats left after we pushed it back. So you cannot have Dane Beardsley will not ride your spot, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think he would, but I'm not.
We should get Dane to ride your spot. We should get Fred to fly Dane to ride your spot.
I think we should get Fred to order a cup of coffee for Ray. He seems like he's passing out.
Oh my gosh, did you see Ray sleeping earlier?
Oh, I was just kidding. I'm listening to everything you're talking about. Flatland nonsense. You're talking about doing front wheel nonsense in a circle in a small space. I mean, how are you not going to fall asleep? Come on.
I'm about to roll up on this spot. Do you guys
up
want
for that
to
kind
walk
of
through
stuff?
it?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Wait, what
I'm gonna
spot?
cut that
What
part
spot?
out of
What spot?
Joe. The new spot, the Dream House. Do you want to see it, Ray?
All it needs.
Okay, let's see the
all it needs
outside.
literally all it needs is the walls knocked out, and then it's your dream home.
Uh-huh. That's it.
Wow.
I
And then
mean,
you
we're gonna
have,
put like one.
All you need is a sledgehammer and some wire cutters, and you're set.
I know.
I-
I
Demo.
know, but
Dave,
we want. But
Dave
we,
and I
but
could come
we
over
called
there
these
on the weekend
architects
and
out
knock
to do
that
it.
out.
yeah, I seriously could help.
I
I
can
mean,
bring his dog to bark at the letters carrier.
He doesn't want a sagging structure if removing something that shouldn't be removed.
It'll be fine. It's okay. We know
Yeah.
what we're doing.
a load-bearing wall is what you
Yeah,
don't want.
you just put a 2x4 up on the ceiling and then you just blow the wall out. If the stuff upstairs falls down, you start over. You just say, I meant to do that. It'll be fine. Joe, we can do it. Dave and I can do it.
Joe, we did the same thing at my house. I swear. We took
Right.
out a whole wall and opened up the whole downstairs. So it's like a split level living room. And then we put pillars to hold up the upstairs. And we moved the staircase off to the side and completely changed the whole space. So
You're
Yeah.
hired. I'm
I'll
sorry.
send you my
Resume.
hourly rate.
my hourly rate.
Why do you think that your house plans are gonna be?
'Cause
are
we
gonna
know
be
what
the
we're doing.
thing that convinces Angie to
Angie's
use
not
your
involved
house
in it.
plans on her dream
Angie's
house.
not involved in this. She's
Oh,
gonna
I'm
be
not planning it. I'm just
working
gonna
when we
be.
get there.
I'm gonna be the labor. I'm not planning
Yeah.
it. You gotta still get someone. You
Yeah,
gotta
no,
tell me what to do.
I'll plan everything.
Okay, Ray will plan it, and I'll knock it.
I have a high school education. I have a high school diploma from Upper Marion High School. I can do anything in the world if you need me to. I'm set.
This is so funny to think about.
Can you tell Angie? You know what, honey? I have the crew lined
Say
up.
I
Oh,
just say
wait.
Angie. I have everything figured out. I just hired Ray and Dave.
And maybe Todd could be like our
Well,
business.
Todd would ruin it because Todd would be the sensible one. We don't want a sensible one. We just want me and you rolling in there. You know what I mean? I'll bring like a little toolbox and my dog Sugar. I'll bring a big igloo cooler lunchbox. So it'll be as soon as we get there, I'll have to go on break, and then we'll start working.
When we
Love 'em.
when we were building Angie's salon, we first started with the floor, and I didn't know how to do floors, so I started watching tutorials. And there was this dude from Boston who did like floor refinishing, and his tutorials were so funny. But he would start with like, he held up his Starbucks. He's like, oh, and you know, if you got to gear up in the morning before you start, and you got to start with the green lady. And he did this whole thing about the first day, you know, the first hour on a job. And that was super funny. And I would still do that when Angie and I would show up for construction, and I would say, the green lady. And we
A
would
lot of
just laugh about
preparation
those
before you
guys.
start working.
Oh yeah. Like, look, when
You
work
got to be in the
parties-
right mindset. You can't just dive into something.
you cannot just dive into something. You have to get into the right mindset. It's the whole warm up.
Yep.
And I love it. I love it.
So right before this call, I was just putting in windows in my stepson's. He did a container house, and I told him I'm going to go do a call. I'll be back in like 30 minutes. It's now been an hour and a half. Well, he just sent me a text said,
Three of the windows working.
I broke the glass. No need to come back.
Did I not call it, Joe? I'm like Notre Dame. Come on, man.
We were putting in 3 windows. We got 2 in, and the third one he had to cut out of the frame, and apparently broke the glass. So, all right, Joe, we're really excited here. You know, the anticipation's killing us.
We're right around the corner. I went to this urgent care earlier today to get stuff for my cold, and then I drove across the street. And
What did
Check
I give
it
you when you go
This
to
is
urgent care?
urgent care for a cold.
Yeah, what do you get when you go?
antibiotics.
Tell
'Cause
him,
it's
Todd.
a sinus
Antibiotic?
thing.
Todd, tell him, Todd. Don't hold back. Tell him. Tell him, Todd. Say it, Todd. Say what you're thinking. Todd's not going to say it. Okay, never mind. Todd doesn't.
Where are you
Antibiotics?
guys?
Isn't that when you like get like a serious?
Todd's afraid to call you a pussy to your face.
Todd's afraid to call me a
I
pussy.
think that it's possible that the antibiotics will help if it's viral.
Well, what the guy told me was, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibiotics, you're going to get sick. And I said, well, that's not true. And he said, well, if you take antibioti he goes, when did you have it? And I told him, and he's like, no fever, da da da. He's like, well, it's probably not viral. He's like, if you still have symptoms at this stage, then it's bacterial, and we can give you antibiotics for it. So I passed the test.
Do you ever check the water in your hot tub, like like the pH level and all the other stuff?
Yeah.
'Cause you probably got stuff growing in there that could kill it.
No, I think it was from the ocean.
I mean, what
Dave, Dave, come on.
can you do a tour? You have to do a tour when it's all furnished. We'd like to have that when it's all done. Okay.
Sure.
Well, we'll see it when we do the walls, when we knock the walls out.
Oh,
Yeah, when
We'll
Walk
see
in,
it when we
knock the
rent
wall.
it and then start the construction.
We're gonna rent it as the Airbnb, and then we're gonna demolish the inside and then leave.
we're just
And
going to
see if we can
extend
get
our
a
stay.
deposit
We're
back.
going to keep extending our stay. Like, okay, we just want to rent it for another
more
week.
weeks, please.
One of Angie's clients has a house in that historic neighborhood, and he has a pool. And what he does is on the weekends, he goes and gets a smaller Airbnb and rents his out for huge Airbnb money.
That's crazy. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. I got to go.
All right, I'm gonna go
Been real.
too.
All right. Love
See you later.
peeps and rabbit cheats.
Peace out.
5 hours later.